Hey Saturday, this is Mr. David just checking in on everyone, seeing how your first day of virtual learning was. I know this is a very unique situation that we're all in right now, and you probably all wish we were back in the classroom, kind of like I always say. However, we need to make the most out of the situation and continue to learn virtually. I'm really happy with how much time and effort everyone put in yesterday on your first day of online learning. I was checking in on everyone and was very pleased to see how many people were logged on to Schoology and did their daily assignments. I had a lot of students watch the recorded lesson narrated by Mr. Murphy, who did an amazing job on the cells and cell organelles, which was awesome to see. I also noticed many people made a copy of the cell organelle notes and completed them. Just a heads up for everyone, your notes are never graded, okay? They're for you and you only. So your notes are really for your own learning experience to master the content. Now, I would highly encourage everyone to complete your own notes so that you have the material to look back on when studying for your test, okay? Some other great things I saw were students completing the Cell Organelle web quest, as well as the Ed Puzzle video, which I think is a really great review strategy and a review resource, and we'll definitely be posting more for everyone in the near future, so stay posted on that. Okay. Again, if anyone ever has any questions, please feel free to email me. Also, I'll be creating a FAQ Google Sheet form so that people can ask questions or write down things that you like or don't like that might help you better understand the assignments that are due not only for you but maybe for your other classmates that might have the same questions. Okay, but overall, super happy with everyone. I'm glad you're all doing well in this crazy time right now. Okay, but really the purpose of today's mini lesson is to talk about and look at the differences between plant cells versus animal cells. Now, Mr. Murphy did an awesome job at explaining the different types of cells as well as the different cell organelles. One thing that I want to review with everyone is what makes plant cells different from animal cells, okay? There are a couple differences that we need to touch on so that you really understand how to tell the difference between the two, okay? This is a major concept, and you guys really need to master this. Okay, so just, another thing to make sure you're doing is while watching the recorded lesson, please go into your Schoology page and download the plant cell versus animal cell guided notes. Please make sure that you make a copy of your own notes so that you're not actually taking notes for everybody else in the class, okay? So please make sure you do that. So let's get into it. So let's recall what cells are. Okay, now Mr. Murphy went over the cell theory, and this is, basically what cells are. Cells are the basic unit of life. All living things and all living organisms are composed of cells, no matter if it's a single-celled organism, just like our paramecium down here. Okay, this is a protist, it's a single-cell organism, or whether it's multicellular. In this image right here, what you're looking at is Elodea leaf cells. Okay, that's a plant cell. You can tell that this is a plant cell by its brick-like shape. You see the green chloroplast in there, and that's really what makes the plant look green. Okay, and then if you look at the image above, these are actually cheek cells under the microscope from your mouth. Okay, so if we were in class, we'd actually be looking at these under the microscope to help you really understand the differences between plant cells and animal cells, but unfortunately we cannot. So I just want to go over this so you understand it. And again, you can tell right off the bat some differences. Animal cells, the cheek cells up here, they are not green. Okay, the purple, they were actually dyed with methylene blue to help us really see them under the microscope a little bit better, so that's why they're purple. Okay, but the plant cell, it's green, it's brick-like shape, whereas your animal cells, okay, are going to be circular. Also notice that these two images, your cheek cells and your plant cells, are multicellular, meaning made up of many cells, whereas your protist is only made up of one cell, okay? And so the question I have for everyone is, after looking at the images, are plant cells right here, animal cells right here, and even single-cell organisms, are they all identical? And the answer to that question is no, they're not. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. So how do we tell the difference between plant cells and animal cells? And it's really simple. The first way we're going to really tell the difference between plant cells versus animal cells is looking at the cell shape. Okay, if you look at these two images right here down below, you can see that the plant cell, okay, the plant cell has a more rectangular shape, whereas the animal cell has more of a circular shape. Okay, and you can see that in the images above or over to the right over here. The Elodea leaf cells, okay, which are plant cells, have this brick-like shape. You can see the cell wall, okay, which is super strong. It's made of cellulose, and it allows that plant to have a lot of rigidity and strength, okay, especially in its tough environment, okay. Whereas your animal cells, your cheek cells under the microscope, are more circular, okay, so you definitely can see a difference in cell shape there. So plant cells are more rectangular, and we call them a brick-like shape, okay, whereas animal cells are more circular, okay. Another way to tell the difference between plant and animal cells is cell organelles. So actually the organelles composed and found within plant cells and animal cells. Plant cells and animal cells have different organelles that allow them to function properly and differently. Now, animal cells are going to go through more of a process called cell respiration, where plant cells go through a process called photosynthesis, okay, to get their energy. All right, so because of those cellular processes, each plant cell and animal cell is going to have very different organelles that allow them to perform their function, okay, and work efficiently. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the plant cells and see how they differ from animal cells, okay? Okay, so these are organelles that plant cells have, okay, but animal cells do not have, okay? And you can probably already tell the difference because they're all green, right? And so the first major organelle that we're going to talk about is chloroplast, and this is the giveaway for knowing that you're looking at a plant cell, because anytime you're looking at a cell and it's green, what you're probably actually seeing is the chloroplast found within the cell. Now, chloroplasts are found in only plant cells, okay? They're located, their location is where photosynthesis takes place. So chloroplast is actually the site of photosynthesis where light energy is converted into chemical energy, okay? And if you don't remember, photosynthesis is converting light energy into energy for the cell, okay? And it also contains these green pigments called chlorophyll, and that's actually, you know, what makes the plant look green is those green pigments called chlorophyll, okay? So this is the first organelle that we're going to look at, okay? The chloroplasts are only found in plant cells. They're not found in animal cells, so please make sure you understand that and you know that, okay? So here's your chloroplast structure right here. It's oval in shape, all right? Okay, and then inside you have these thylakoid, flat green pancakes, and inside those thylakoids are going to be your green pigments called chlorophyll, okay? The next organelle we're going to take a look at is the cell wall. So plant cells, all plant cells have cell walls, okay, but animal cells do not, okay? And so the main function of the cell wall is to provide support and protection for the cell, okay? So in a plant cell, it's the outermost layer on the plant cell. It's made up of cellulose, which is a super strong and tough polysaccharide, okay? If you remember, polysaccharide is a carbohydrate, okay? It's the outermost layer on the plant cell, and it's composed of cellulose, which is really tough. It's a tough polysaccharide, and that's super important because plants are so small and brittle. So to really have this cell wall there is going to really help that plant with its support and structure. Okay, so again, this is another organelle that plant cells have, but animal cells do not have. Okay, now this is a little tricky because both plant and animal cells have a vacuole. Now, the difference is the size and how many. Okay, so plant cells have one large vacuole, unlike animal cells, which have many smaller vacuoles. Okay, and the function of a vacuole is to really, it's a storage unit. I call it more or less like a reservoir, because a reservoir is where you store water. Okay, so a vacuole can be considered as a Reservoir because it's the storage structure for the cell. It's going to store water, waste, nutrients, anything in the cell that either needs to get out of the cell or that is waiting to be used up for maybe nutrients. Okay, so if you look down here in the images, okay, what you're going to look at is you're going to look at the animal cell first. So notice, so if you're looking at the vacuoles is like this lightish purple color. Notice in the animal cell you have many smaller vacuoles, whereas the plant cell has one large central vacuole that is essentially composed of water. Okay, so that's a key difference between plant cells and animal cells in terms of the vacuole. Animal cells have many smaller vacuoles. Plant cells have one large central vacuole. All right, so that is essentially all I have for you. I really just wanted to go over this. Hopefully everyone is doing well, okay, and you guys are staying safe and practicing your social distancing and keeping yourself busy. All right. If you have any other questions, please always feel free to contact me, okay, via email. I'll probably get back to you at the end of the day. Keep up the good work, and I will be in touch. Make sure that you're staying updated with the virtual learning biology course overview schedule. Okay, that is where I post all of my daily lessons, and it basically goes over what you need to accomplish for each day. Okay, so best of luck and keep up the great work, everyone.